Living with a dragon in human disguise can be a recipe for disaster or fiery fun, especially when the dragon squad starts multiplying like rabbits. But Miss Kobayashi takes it all in her stride, making dragon cohabitation look like a breeze instead of a firestorm. Expect to see pure wholesomeness and some good old Jiao. Welcome to the delightful world of Miss Kobayashi's DragonMaid, recapped and served up just for you by Animeshon. Special thanks and much respect to Kyoto Animation and Kokyu for this charming slice-of-life comedic adventure. Rest assured, we play by the copyright rules, so you're safe in our dragon claws. Now prepare for some spoilers as we dive headfirst into the whimsical world of dragons and humans living under one roof. Let's go! In the previous episode, we met the adorable Kana as she entered the Kobayashi household. It was quite a spectacle, and I can't get over how cute Kana is. This episode kicks off with a game-changing decision from Kobayashi. She's come to the realization that her current apartment is just too darn small for her, Tohru, and Kana. That cozy little space won't cut it anymore, so the gang's on a mission to pack up and move to a bigger place.
Well, we're moving on now.
During the packing frenzy, the Dragon Girls stumble upon some old photos of Kobayashi. Tohru can't contain her excitement and goes full fangirl mode over the pictures. I mean, why does she adore serious-faced Kobayashi so much? Kana, being the straightforward one, straight up calls out Tohru for being a pervert. It's a hilarious moment that sets the tone for the episode, and I'm loving the vibes. Now you know moving is usually a tedious task, but DragonMaid magically turns it into a laid-back fun adventure. It's so enjoyable that it almost makes me want to move too. The trio decides on a bigger apartment in the same neighborhood, complete with a communal roof that gives the dragons room to spread their wings. As they settle into their new digs, things get a little steamy because if hand-holding made you blush before. Brace yourself for a bath scene with Tohru and Kobayashi. But hold on before you get any crazy ideas. Let me clarify that this isn't some kind of harem anime. There's a quirky twist to this bathing experience. Kobayashi mentions how she loves it when Tohru cleans for her, but Tohru takes that to a whole new level. She sees cleaning as an essential part of her body. It's an unusual form of dragon humor that's really growing on me. But what's super intriguing is that Tohru doesn't bathe until she's in her dragon form. She even shares her experiences of being a dragon, and let me tell you, it's no walk in the park. She claims to brush her teeth every day, but not with a regular toothbrush. She just picks off the bugs. And since humans have a strong fascination with dragons, she can't stick around in one place for too long. Otherwise, she might end up as a victim to humanity's insanity. To return the favor for Tohru washing Kobayashi, she offers to wash Tohru as well. And off they go to the rooftop with Kobayashi hosing down Tohru's dragon form. No, it's nothing ridiculously perverted, but Tohru enjoys being bathed by Kobayashi nonetheless. I can't help but wonder, is Tohru in some kind of invisible mode? Because if not, the whole world is going to spot her, even if she's on the rooftop. I'm genuinely impressed by how the show blends situational comedy with deep, intimate conversations seamlessly. The next day, Kobayashi is back to her usual grind. You know the drill. Wake up, go to work some more, and then return to your old apartment, only to realize you moved to a new one just yesterday. I couldn't help but chuckle at that moment because it's a relatable mix-up we've all kinda experienced. However, the new apartment comes with a twist, new neighbors, and boy are they loud. One neighbor is a rock singer, belting out tunes at the top of their lungs. The other neighbor upstairs seems to be channeling their inner wood-carving maestro, and let's not forget the lady next door. She's particularly fond of cooking vegetables, and she's not shy about letting the whole world know. I mean, really, what kind of vegetable cooking sounds like a rock concert gone wrong? I can totally empathize with Kobayashi here. Imagine you're exhausted from work, nursing a hangover, and all you want is a peaceful day off. Instead, you got these neighbors making a ruckus that could wake the dead. At first, Kobayashi thought Tohru was just being loud like her usual lively self, but that notion made Tohru pretty sad. In the next part of our story, Tohru takes the initiative to deal with their new neighbors and persuade them to lower the noise. Turns out, the lady next door was simply preparing a salad. Now I've got to wonder, how on earth can you make so much noise while making a salad? But rest assured, Tohru successfully convinces her to tone down the salad-making shenanigans. Then let's move on to the neighbor on the right. The look on the guy's face who was blaring that rock music was simply priceless. Tohru even cheekily remarked that his voice was like Hades being squashed by Hercules. But don't worry, that guy took it as a compliment. So Tohru politely asked if he could dial the volume down a bit, and to my surprise, he readily agreed. That's one way to settle the noise dispute. Now onto the neighbor above. Turns out this guy was using a drill for his woodwork, and Tohru managed to convince all of them to dial down the noise. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing. After a bit, it became clear that the three neighbors were in a competition to see who made the most noise. It was a bit comical to watch them argue, especially when they were all utterly shocked to find out that the lady's noise was just her cooking. And Tohru is just one step away from a bloodbath because, oh boy, she was ready to literally kill her neighbors. In the end, it's Kobayashi who comes to the rescue, suggesting they create a schedule for their noisy activities. It's a practical approach, just like Kobayashi herself. And here's the part that really grabbed my attention. When Tohru asked Kobayashi if she was a nuisance, Kobayashi simply replied that she didn't have a good answer to that. But she doesn't hate it either. In fact, she's starting to really enjoy her new life with the dragons. The scene deliberately shifts from the muted conversation between Kobayashi and Tohru to an entirely different setting where Kobayashi is sitting alone in her old, cluttered apartment. I feel like this was before Tohru and Kana entered her life. It suggests that Kobayashi in that quiet, lonely apartment was a contrast to what she has now, the two dragons around. So why did she invite these peculiar roommates in the first place? Out of kindness, or perhaps was it because of loneliness? Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. In the final part of the episode, we find Kobayashi skipping her company's outing to host her own little gathering. She invites her coworker, who's also her drinking buddy and fellow otaku from episode 1. Tohru, on the other hand, invites her dragon pals, Fafnir and Quetzalcoatl. Remember that dragon Tohru called in the first couple of episodes? Yes, that's Fafnir, and surprisingly, he makes quite the entrance in his full-blown dragon form, and the shock on Kobayashi's and her friends' faces is pure comedy gold. It's as if they stumbled into a Godzilla meets The Office episode. Tohru eventually persuades Fafnir to change to a more fitting appearance, making him look like he walked straight out of Black Butler. Yep, he went from roar to elegant tea service, and the transition is both surprising and side-splitting. Fafnir remains as gruff and stoic as his voice on the phone from episode 1.
Kill all who try to steal your treasure. Kill all who are suspect. Curse them with death. Curse their generations to come.
Tohru's choice of human attire for him is ill-fitting and really old school, which just adds to the hilarity. Now, on to the arrival of the next dragon, Quetzalcoatl, fondly nicknamed as Luco. Luco has quite the towering presence. Her figure is so prominent that even Kobayashi seems taken aback. She's a beautiful but big-busted dragon who Kobayashi calls out for her supposed slutty appearance. I mean, I don't really consider a tank top and shorts slutty, but hey, different strokes for different folks, right? Their entrance is rather understated as they were invited by Tohru, but it sets the tone for a laid-back housewarming party that perfectly fits the vibe of DragonMaid. The next scene shifts the focus to Kobayashi's friend Takia, who's engrossed in a video game that by pure coincidence is about dragons versus humans. What's even more surprising is that Fafnir, despite his typically gloomy demeanor, becomes unexpectedly enthusiastic about it. He becomes engrossed in a Dark Souls-like game. The in-show 3D representation of the game is impressively detailed, maybe even rivaling the graphics of the actual Demon's Souls game. During the gaming session, Luco drops a surprising fact on Kobayashi. She tells her that Tohru used to be quite the serious character and rarely flashed a smile. And now she's beaming with happiness thanks to her time with Kobayashi. It's like she's won the lottery or something. Kobayashi also reveals that she wasn't exactly a giggling machine before Tohru came into her life either. But she declares that she would never admit this to Tohru. It's like giving someone a thank you card with an angry emoji on it. Classic tsundere behavior, right? As the evening unfolds, a drunk Kobayashi starts going on about maids like there's no tomorrow. Tohru and even Luco notice the change in her demeanor when she's had a few drinks. In fact, Kobayashi even suggests that both of them become her maids and takes it to the extreme by demanding Tohru strip if she won't comply.
God have mercy upon us.
Shy and deadpan Kobayashi is gone, and in her place is the full-blown maid fanatic Kobayashi. It's like her secret obsession has been unleashed and the dragons are left with their jaws on the floor thinking, who's this lady? Her equally drunk coworker is left wide-eyed and red-faced by Kobayashi's drunk demands.
Super freak, super freak.
The episode wraps up with both Kana and Tohru playing a game the next day. Kobayashi amusingly points out that they're the type of gamers who physically move as if their real-life motions control the game like they're in some kind of real-life dance competition. These dragons sure know how to make daily life entertaining. Hey, are you still watching? Be sure to subscribe and hit that like button for your regular dose of fantastic anime content. Ready for more adorable moments? Don't miss the end of this video because the cuteness keeps on coming. Before we dive into more heartwarming moments, I've got to hand it to Kyoto Animation for bringing this anime to life. The animation and colors are just so comfy and cute, giving us that warm and fuzzy feeling. I personally love the design of the characters' eyes, which is exceptional and really adds to their appeal. Kana's eyes have an icy, ghostly quality that makes you feel like she could freeze or melt your heart with just a look. Tohru's eyes are so fiery, they could probably set things ablaze. Kobayashi's eyes, on the other hand, are like tiny versions of Sauron's, ready to widen in fiery rage at any moment. Then there's Luko, with her eyes each a different color, showcasing an artistic complexity reminiscent of a Mayan mural. I must say, I appreciate the realistic portrayal of Kobayashi's awkwardness when meeting Luko. The fact that she didn't know where to look when greeting her was both relatable and humorous. The boobage was quite distracting, if I say so myself. It's incredible how KyoAni manages to pack so much enjoyment into a single episode. Just another fantastic installment in this series. Speaking of series, one of the highlights for me has to be the scenes with Kana. What's fascinating is that even though she may not have a lot to say, they didn't make her all-powerful or invincible. In fact, it's an incredibly endearing moment when she can't seem to find a comfortable place to sleep. Not on the bed, not on the couch, but only on Tohru's lap. Who would have thought that Tohru could be such a nurturing mother figure? Another part I enjoyed is when everyone's expectations were set for a fan service moment, or maybe it's just me after Kobayashi mentions that she'll wash Tohru as repayment. Just when you might have started imagining all sorts of wild stuff, a giant wild green dragon suddenly appears on the screen. The wholesomeness of this series is like a comforting balm that gets me through the week. And that last moment before the credits roll, when Kobayashi smiles while they're playing, is simply precious. I truly appreciate how this show teaches about acceptance and imparts other essential life lessons. Both the manga and the anime manage to strike a remarkable balance. When you get down to its core, the series is about big boob dragon girls plus one loli doing cute and ecchi things. Yet it's able to blend that with a more serious narrative and convey deep, meaningful, and often wholesome themes on top. Even the ending song was a whole lot of fun. But I'm curious, what truly captured your attention? Was it the introduction of the new dragons, or are Kana and Tohru still the standout stars for you? Were you as overwhelmed by the bodacious boobage as I was? They are D's for dragon after all. More like double D. Did you laugh as much as I did at Kobayashi's drunken maid rant? Or were you distracted by handsome yet hostile Fafner? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep this conversation going. Before we bid our farewells, I want to give you a quick heads up. All the video clips you've seen here rightfully belong to their respective owners. Our mission is straightforward, to have an open and honest discussion about this anime, to share our love for it with you, and to always make sure that we respect the creators and their fantastic creations. So fellow anime enthusiasts, stay with us. Keep that flame of curiosity burning brightly and let your hunger for exciting anime adventures remain lively and strong. And as we say goodbye, don't forget to show your appreciation by clicking that like button, and if you made it all the way to the end with me, don't forget to comment at Kitty Cat. This is your anime sensei, signing off.